Hey everybody, I live in the vicinity of Portland, Oregon, and I like NBA basketball and a cold beverage once in a while. Now, my buddy and I were over at the arena watching a basketball game, Portland Trailblazers, a few weeks ago, and we were waiting for the Blazers to score a point, just 1 point. Just one. One would do it. That'd make us happy. But Blazer points are few and far between these days, so I looked down at the beer in my hand that cost $14.50 for one beer. And I started thinking, what arena does a guy have to go to? What team do you have to support so that you can go out, watch a basketball game, have a good chance of your team winning, and be respected by the arena bartenders? So I put this map together. Now, this is just a silly, fun map. It doesn't mean anything. And the math might be a little fuzzy, a little sketch, but give me a little leeway. It produces a scale that seems to be pretty relative and reflect the data accurately. So let's have fun and make a map about arena beer prices versus chances of winning. This is Carto-Madness. Okay, let's start with a fresh copy of ArcPro and add a new map. And once our map is added, we can add an Excel file that I created earlier that has the NBA team names, their city, their state, the arena beer price, and their winning percentage for the 2023-24 season. So yeah, city, state, team name, beer price, winning percentage. Now, some of these are not designated by a city or state, like Golden State Warriors in this case, so we have to turn it to San Francisco, California. And so once we have everything set there, as we like, let's go to our geoprocessing toolbox and search for geocode addresses. There it is. And this couldn't be simpler to use. I'll drag our table in there and use our locator. And this is smart enough to know that we already have city and state in our table. So it's all set to go. Only thing we have to do is estimate our credits because this one is not free. So let's estimate credits, which is 1.2. which is pennies, and I can afford that. So let's run it. And with the magic of geoprocessing, we have all of our NBA cities in a brand new layer. So let's copy that and change the names just so we know what we're talking about. And we'll say value meter, and we'll call the other one, let's say team logo. Good deal. So let's put logo above value meter because we want our value meters coming from behind our team logos. So let's change our coordinate system as well because I don't like that straight northern boundary of the United States to this one. And this one looks a lot better to me anyway. Looks like it might be on a round surface. So let's go and start symbolizing our team logos. So instead of single symbol, we'll say unique values, and that value is, of course, teams. And there they are. There they all are. So we'll start with the Sixers, and I went down to the interwebs, and I got all of the team logos, PNG style, with no background. So just all I have to do is navigate to each one. And there's our 76ers logo that we like, and we'll say apply. And it comes in on a gigantic scale, so let's tame that down a little bit to a 40. We like it. So far, so good. So let's go ahead and create a style out of this now so we can use it on the rest of our logos. Let's call it NBA. And say OK. So now we can go back to all of our logos and say format all symbols. Now we can go to our gallery, pick NBA, and they all have now inherited those just few settings, but it still is time saver in this case, of our team logos. So now it's just a matter of clicking each one, going to properties, and the file, and picking the next one, Bucks in this case. And it takes a while for them to come in. And go back and do the next one. And if the alphabet is correct, the next one I believe is the Bulls. And yep, there we go, Bulls. And this takes a bit of time to bring all of them in this way. So we will cut here quickly and resume just as soon as I've done all of them. There we go, like that. And turn off our pause drawing, and you will see they'll come in as we would like them to. So now let's go ahead and add a layout and start working from the layout side of it. 17 by 22, which I seem to kind of like a lot. Let's add our map. And there everybody is. But what I do want to do is I want to fill up this map as close as I can to the margins with our areas of interest, which is all of our NBA team logos. There we go. It's a pretty good scale. You can scoot it around just a little bit so we like it. And let's get rid of these out of the box base maps, because we can make our own. We can make a better one, right? Let's go to Portal and we'll search for states, and we'll add all of our United States to our map. And that's a good one. The generalized boundaries for the scale is perfect. So, looking good. I like it. Except, there are a couple cities that are very selfish, and they have 2 teams in the cities. New York is one of them. I guess technically it's not the same city, but New York, Brooklyn, same diff, right? No offense to those people who live out there. And so we'll move the Knicks over here. And we will move the, come on, there we go. And we'll move the Nets over here. And I think the Knicks are going to get in the way of the Sixers. So we'll move them over there. Pretty close, we like it. And we'll close our activation, and we'll zoom out and zoom into the other SoCal here. And we will go ahead and select the Lakers. There we go. And we're going to move the Lakers out into the ocean. The farther the better into the ocean, as far as I'm concerned. I don't even like putting them on this map, but I will anyway. I'm a Blazer fan, so there's that. Okay, they are not on top of one another either now, so let's go ahead and take a look. And yep, we like it. Bay Area, LA, New York, pretty good. So let's make the states a little more interesting, and I went out to the interwebs once more, and I found a picture of some hardwood flooring. Where did I find it? I don't know. Maybe on Home Depot website or something like that, but it's just a piece of hardwood floor. So let's bring that in and take a look and do to our size. And I don't like the way it's kind of striped there, the fading from light to dark, but we'll leave it for this application. Looks okay, I guess. And let's start labeling these. And again, please explore the different fonts. I like Palatino Linotype quite a bit. So let's start making a label of our beer prices per arena and our winning percentage per team. So in this case, we'll do beer prices, and we'll say quote $signs dash quotes plus our beer price. And that should give us our beer price, and it does. So if I don't like that dash, we'll take care of that in a second. But let's move the position to underneath our symbol. But look at Brooklyn. That's it's being overwritten by the symbol, so, and we'll take care of that in a minute. But let's get rid of this dash, because it doesn't look like a negative beer price. That's better. So let's go to our position, and we go measure offset from, let's measure it from the exact symbol outlines. There you go, see Brooklyn's moved down a little bit. I like it. So now let's add our winning percentage. So what we have to do is we have to do a carriage return here, which is text formatting dot new line plus and our winning percentage, and let's add a percent sign to that. So we have a plus space percent. Oops, we're missing something. Oh, it's a plus sign in before, just before text formatting, right there. And that should do it. Let's take a look. Okay, looks good. Whoops. Well, it doesn't look good. Let's multiply this by 100. Just put a couple brackets around it and multiply by 100 to get a percentage that we all kind of recognize. And let's check that. Looks good. Yeah, lots better. Brooklyn's 54.9%. Yeah, all right. All looks good. So, look at Pistons. I mean, it doesn't look that great. So let's create a halo around it, and we can use our eyedropper and grab a decent color around there. That's pretty good. And make our halo just a little bit bigger, like a 2, which doesn't look great out there in the middle of the ocean, but the rest of the country looks pretty good. So we won't monkey with that too much right now, although we could. And so, looks good. So far, so good. We have our logos and our labels. So let's start making a value meter. So what we're going to do is we're going to enable our data linking to this one, and we're going to do a little arcade statement to estimate a value. And this is kind of arbitrary, but it seems to work and give a relative value from one team to the next. And so let's take our winning percentage and divide it by our beer price, multiply by 100, and let's multiply that whole thing by 20 just to get some bigger symbology. Whoops, and it comes out as a big round blue circle. Let's fix that, because we want a kind of a bar chart kind of symbol. So let's go here, and we can add this, and it's still not quite right, so let's uncheck scale proportionally, and now we have one that is only scaled in the north-south position. And when we turn our team logos, we see that our value meter is in the middle of our logo. We can fix that easy if we go to position and anchor point, bottom, and voila. It now grows from the middle of our logo in the city of interest. So let's fix this, and let's try to make this like a Pilsner glass. So if we had a tapered polygon global effect and change our from width to, well, let's say 30. And okay, we're getting somewhere. And let's format that some more. And go here and say our to width is 0. So it goes down to a singularity on one of our cities. So let's format this line symbol and add a fill layer. And let's use our old friend gradient fill. I just love gradient fills. You can do so much. So let's use this gradient and say kind of a beery kind of color. Yellow. Well, maybe a little bit more orange than that. Yeah, let's take that. We'll move this up here. Give it a transparency of 100. And over here, we will add the same color and give that also a transparency of 100. And not exactly right yet, so let's make it a linear and continuous and 100% of our polygon. And it's not, angle's not right, so let's turn that to 0 to go, to make it look the gradient from the side rather than the top or bottom. And let's scoot this a little bit this way and change the transparency to, let's say, 70. See how that looks? Ah, it looks way better. Okay, and now let's add one more fill polygon, fill symbol, and we'll put that underneath our gradient, and we'll make that another beery kind of color. And let's take a look. Yeah, I like it. And the edge of our glass is white. So there you go. I like that symbology. Let's keep that for now. So we're starting to see some relative values. So just because we can't leave this alone, right? Let's go ahead and copy this and make a second one. And let's make a shadow, as if the sun was up in the northwest. And move that angle to -105. Yeah, okay, that's the right direction, kind of. Except there it's backwards. So let's flip it. Flip it good. Good deal. Okay, and now let's not make it the yellow colors, but let's make it shadowy color, huh? Let's get rid of that middle one. And we'll go from black to black. And the transparency of 100. See, okay, and that looks great. Shadow. Except for it's a little intense, so let's back this transparency down about 15. That looks a little better. Just look, okay, I like it. Getting some life to it, right? But let's, for the shadow part, let's move this from width down to like 20, make it a little skinny, so it's not the focus of our map, but it adds some fun. That's a lot better. I like it. So now let's add a background. And so I went out on the internet and I found a picture of beer.
Beer.
Let's slide that under our map. And let's change that to 50%. Okay, you seem a little lost, but we're not done yet. So a basketball court has black lines for the most part. So let's turn our state outlines to black and about 1.5. How's that? Okay, cool. I like it. A lot better. It defines things better. And let's go to our picture. We like it? I think we like it, all right. So let's add now some surrounds. Beer and basketball guy. I found this guy on the internet somewhere. It's just a photo. Cool. Silly. And put him over here. And let's flip him so it looks like they're maybe toasting a possible win with their favorite team. Likely not the Blazers. There we go. Better. So let's see, let's scoot that a little bit so he's standing right on top of Washington State over there in the west, on top of Maine in the east. Cool, like it. And so now let's align these guys, and if you don't use align, it's super handy. In this case, there we go. Now they're aligned by the middle. And we can move them both. And now let's add a title to our map. Let's call it Value of an NBA Game. Okay? And this is just a silly map that means nothing. So let's make that a better size and a super silly font, which is one of my favorites actually, is Ren and Stimpy. Yeah. Now fonts are just another polygon to Arc Pro, right? So let's have some fun with that and format that into a picture film. And I went out to the interwebs and I grabbed a picture of basketball texture. There it is. Let's see. Good deal. And now let's reset the size of it. And if we look, it looks like a basketball. Clever. So let's make a subheading here. A little smaller, like a 50 or something, I think. And let's change that text to arena beer prices versus chance of a win. And more alignment. Let's align the center of that. Looks good. Scoot it just a little bit, and of course you can hold your shift bar and move things around without them snapping. Great. All right. Well, these icons, these symbols are a little ambiguous, so let's make ourselves a homemade legend by tracing one of these as a polygon, just as a template, then move that down here. Looks good. And let's go ahead and symbolize this with that same gradient that we have on our other symbols. And that's, of course, a white outline and a gradient fill, and I'm going to speed this up a bunch because we already did this once. And continuous at 100. Okay, good deal. Let's move that a little bit since it's a legend, just a little bit different, huh? There we go. And of course we have to add one more fill layer of our yellow fizzy beer color. I like it. Here, a little better. Looks good. So now let's copy this 3 times. And we can scoot these around. Not worry about where they're landing so much right now. And if we select them all, we can get our alignment tool one more time. Or we group them first, sorry. And now we can select them all and go to align bottom. Now they're all good. And let's stretch these into ever increasing levels of satisfaction with your team and arena, I guess. Let's select these individually and kind of move them around a little bit. And they're not distributed horizontally just perfectly, so what we can do is we can select them all and say distribute horizontally. There we go. And same thing with align the bottom. Good deal, we got it. It's our fun meter, value meter. So now let's add a circle. And with this circle, that's about right, just to kind of highlight our homemade legend here. So this is good. And let's fix this just a little bit. There we go. Okay, that's better. Okay, back to our circle. We can take this circle and move it right under our states, like that. So Arizona is kind of covering up the northeast portion of our circle. And once again, picture fill of Guat, and got a picture of the basketball. Yeah, and make it okay. Let's make it a decent size. Try to make it about the size of our circle, and change the offset in the XY direction so it kind of fills it up a little bit. There we go. A little bigger. Perfect. Perfect. Just a little scoot it. Like that good. And so let's make this transparent because that's a little bold down there. And that's maybe a little too transparent. Let's back that off to about, yeah, that might work. There we go. Yeah, I like it all right. All right. And now we can scoot this group element around of our value meters. And now let's add a little title for our legend. And we can say potential for a good time. And we do that. We can again use our silly Ren and Stimpy font. And let's make it, it's a little bit bigger than that. Let's go over here and make this, how about 25? Probably good. It looks a little small on the screen, but once we print, it will be just fine. Just copy that a couple of times so we can label our legend. So this one, let's align it. Not align center. We want to align middle. There we go. Yeah. So let's put here, have a beer on the couch in front of the TV because there's not much use to go to the game and see them lose and pay way too much for a beer. Most arenas, the beer prices are too high anyway. But that's what we're doing this for. On the other end, dial up an Uber because we're going. There it is. And let's center those. It bugs me if they're not kind of justified. And now if we take our circle and turn off our outline symbol, looking good. So let's add another picture in the corner. I found this just to add up space. And also down here, let's go ahead and add our credits. Cartography by yours truly, who apparently doesn't know how to spell. And also inspiration by the NBA and the craft brewing industry. There we go. And of course, spelling counts. There we go. Let's make this a little bit smaller and put that good old Arial on that, font wise. And italic would be good. Regular italic is just credits, right? Reasonable size. Back the color off a little bit because we don't want to be. We want it to be a little more subtle than that. There we go. And let's add Carto-Madness guy right here. Putting it in the corner. And there we have it. Now let's take a look. Looks to me like, oh, there's another reason to go to Cleveland. Actually, that makes reason number one, the one and only. You've been to Cleveland. Hey, 62% winning and $5 beers? Sign me up. But if you're down here in Texas, Rockets and the Spurs, 26% chance and $8 and $11 beers? I don't know. And up here in the Northwest, my team, $12.13 for a beer, which actually this year is $14.50, and our winning percentage is under 25%. So I still go to the games, but there you have it. A fun, silly map of arena beer prices versus winning percentage of 2023-24 season in the NBA. Have fun. Cleveland. Thanks for watching. See you next time.